Dr. Irene, tell us about the five black swans that stand in the way of recovery from migraines.
There are many reasons why you may not even recognize that you are in survival mode, which is why I talk about neurological survival mode. Every time you have a migraine, I guarantee you're being thrown into neurological survival mode.
And so, what you're describing is almost a process of adaptation to chronic stress. And that is what puts these blinders on you. And then you can't even tell that you're in survival mode anymore. And that's kind of what you're describing as being the first black swan.
It's that lack of knowing
Yeah.
you're there. And
Yeah.
it can be from adaptation.
Hmm.
Great point.
Okay.
That and part of it is that it's what's recognized or not.
All right. Tell me a little bit about helpless victim mode. What kind
Mm.
of black swan is that, and how does that impact our health?
The reason why I called it helpless victim mode is that you may have what is called learned helplessness, where you
Mm.
have either been programmed or perhaps through trauma or even like past experiences that
Hmm.
like as especially as a child that I'm powerless. I'm out of control here. Like life is being done to me. The whole point of helpless victim mode as the second is that once you take that first step out, you need to stay out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to get thrown back in.
Yeah. And don't you think that a lot of things about modern medicine program people to stay in that victim mode? But I think that modern medicine has become this, you go to the doctor, they give you a pill, your job is to take the pill, that pill will make you better. You lose your agency. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Whereas there are so many things we can do to improve our health, our brain health, reduce our migraines, but when you are repeatedly exposed to this model where somebody in a position of authority is telling you you must take your pills or you're not going to get better, that puts you right in victim mode. It takes away your agency, it forces you to be helpless. So I think that is part of what happens to people in healthcare too. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you need to rely, especially over and over and over again, on an external aid,
Yeah.
that that takes that control away, that self-agency. I love that phrase, away. And that's not to say that taking, you know, painkillers for a severe migraine is bad.
Right.
Trying to say that at all. It's being very conscious and understanding that you always have choice and control in any given situation.
Okay, makes sense. All
Figure it
right.
out.
What else do we have? So we've got two of the five black swans.
The third black swan, it's that phrase, it's impossible. And really at the root of that is I have found for so many of my top performing clients who don't think they are. Everyone else looks at them and go, "Oh yeah, they're an elite player." And inside they don't feel like it. Why? Because they feel inadequate. So the I stands for I'm inadequate. And this has its roots in what I call pathological imposter syndrome.
So walk me through how this applies to chronic pain problems like migraine. Are you saying that it's people feel a sense of imposter syndrome when maybe they feel like their changes won't have an impact on their life?
I have found that people with migraines are some of the most brilliant people I've ever met. They
Absolutely.
tend to be like, maybe like a triple type A personality, perfectionist, overachiever,
There
you
is
know,
that. Yeah.
right? Where
Yeah.
they push through it, push and push and push. A migraine can also be your body's way of saying you're not enough.
Hmm.
Dr.
Like
John,
you're not enough to do what you're trying to do?
your subconscious mind will do anything to distract you from emotional pain because emotional pain
Hmm.
actually hurts way more than physical pain.
Hmm.
So
Fair.
you are feeling inadequate, right? Deficient, broken, right?
So it sounds like the way this imposter syndrome sort of applies to migraine is maybe this sense of ceaseless striving, never quite getting your to-do list done, that kind of thing. And then that in turn puts a lot of pressure on yourself, and that can result in stress and pain. Is that the piece of it that you're emphasizing?
It's definitely part of it. And
Okay.
there's that part that's like the hidden part of the iceberg underneath, which is it's like your brain is, as I said, protecting you from the emotional pain because you believe that you'll never be good enough. Your next black swan, which is fear. The most powerful fear, and the one that's the most challenging to understand, is the fear of the death of the old identity. Right?
Yes.
Because
Yes,
it
that's so
lives in your
perceptive. Yeah.
subconscious. Your subconscious mind, think of him like the little man behind the curtain. You get this cockamamie idea that you want to change, you want to heal, right? When your migraines are part of your identity, right? You've had them for so long, it's gotten used to them.
Hmm.
So even though you consciously want to get rid of the pain, your subconscious mind is going, hell no, hell no, I'm going to give you like a really good migraine to think about. Right? The key is that you need to change, you need to become somebody new. The fifth black swan is trauma. We may know that we have experienced trauma. And what I have found over and over and over and over again, and I'll say me too, is that there's so much trauma that we don't even recognize that is impacting us. I was almost 50 years old before I recognized that I had an abusive childhood because my father had suffered PTSD from, his military service. And so we didn't call it trauma. It was just the way things were. It was just the way dad was, right? So
Hmm.
there's so many reasons why, even aside from amnesia, your brain's brilliant way of helping you forget the pain, right? You may forget consciously, your nervous system remembers. So there's the personal, then there's the intergenerational, and then there's the epigenetic trauma, which is where migraines can really come in and why genetic testing is so very important. And that is that they now know through research that trauma that your forebears experienced literally modifies the expression of DNA and gets transmitted down through the generations. Fear and emotions can be transmitted down, and it upregulates disease causing genes and downregulates, turns off your healthy genes. So that is how trauma can be that fifth black swan that can be contributing to your migraine. So, in other words, you could be doing everything right,
Hmm.
treatments and everything. And if you don't address these five black swans, then you're going to keep being dragged back down pain alley over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, beautifully said. Thank you so much for sharing your insights about those black swans with us today. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and I really appreciate it.
Always